Today, the people of Israel are under attack, orchestrated by a terrorist organization, Hamas. In this moment of tragedy, I want to say to them and to the world and to terrorists everywhere that the United States stands with Israel.
Supporters of Israel in front of the United Nations to denounce the air and ground attacks against Israel early Saturday, which prompted Israel to declare war.
People here are fighting to save Jewish lives, and that's what we want to make clear.
Free, free Palestine!
Supporters of Palestinians gathered in Times Square in a rally denounced by both Mayor Adams and Governor Kathy Hochul on Saturday. Adams calling it disgusting, Hochul morally repugnant. Those rallying in support of Israelis condemning the attacks carried out by Hamas throughout the weekend, concerned for their family members and those from other countries caught in the violence.
What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another Go Nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside. Let me lay this out to you. Why people of African descent should not be supporting Israel, let alone even just taking care of standing for either side, whether it's for the Palestinians. Now, I'm not for or against any side of the party. They're going to have to just fight that out. But you're going to have to understand here, why am I saying that? Because there are us who are on the outside who have been saying that that land that they call Israel, our people were there first. But let me take you down memory lane. First and foremost, all right, we as a people, those who we've improved and show, whether you want to say the Limba, whether you want to say the Igbo, whether you want to say the Yoruba, have been all across what they call the Middle East, was living there for thousands of years. But of course, when the Romans and the Greeks and the Syrians and all these people came in to demolish what we would know of in that region, it began to take shape and form where other countries were living there. So first and foremost, we were there first, which you do know that is still Africa. But let's move up the line into the 20th century. You know, the Britons own that area, which you would call Israel, right? Even where the Palestinians are and all that. But because of the United Nations, they decided that they would go ahead and tell old Britain, hey, remove your presence out of here, because we are going to establish a state for our European brothers, the people who follow Judaism, who call themselves Jews. We want to give them a land. So just move out the way in peace. We'll compensate you and take care of you in other fashions and forms. So what they did was they went and removed 700,000 to over 1 million people out of the way so that they can establish this place called Israel. Well, of course, you know, the Palestinians were going to stand by and just sit back and just be thrown out. So there was a war that ensued. And in this war that ensued, of course, it was Arabs against these Jewish people. But the Jewish people had a little help by these national or the NATO forces, which, of course, has more of a populace of military equipment as well as personnel. So, understandably, we know Palestinians lost the war. So, of course, they ushered in all of these people, established a Jewish state, and then divided the people up. The people were divided because Israel was in the middle now of Palestine, what you know as the West Bank, as well as what you know as the Gaza Strip. Now, what's interesting about this Gaza Strip, or what you just heard about the bombing coming from the Hamas, right? These group of people that are Arab Brotherhoods, but that is a militant group that they would call the Hamas, but supported really by, if you want to say, Turkey, Syria, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, you know, these countries here that are Arab brothers. Hamas basically sent up bombs because of the fact that the people in the Gaza Strip are basically strapped into reservations. Now, many of you all know what happened when the Europeans came into America, stripped the land from the natives, put them on reservations, and then they were left without. So these people who live in this Gaza Strip, that is basically a big, large ghetto, it's said it's about the two sizes of Washington, D.C., over 2 million people that's actually living in this small space. They are confined. Matter of fact, there have been sanctions against them because of the fact that many people don't like who they are, or because they want to retaliate because of this division of their people, where they have no other recourse but try to fight back and gain as much as land as they can. But because they are supported by NATO, Israelis are, there's not much they really can do, except for throw bombs in the air and hopefully that it can strike and cause a hysteria across the globe, that they can get support by people to see what that they have been basically ostracized, put in the corner, swept away, and forgotten. They don't get imports coming in to help and support them, whether it's equipment and technology or even food. These people are actually suffering. If the mainstream media would tell you, because most of these Western countries support Israel, because these are their cousins. These people are Europeans, whites, Caucasians, if you will, so they support their own. We know that, yes, Arabs are looked down upon, blacks, Africans, or whatever you want to call it, are looked upon, and they will take care of themselves, which is the NATO of what you would call the National Alliance Treaty Organization. They stand for each other. But let me break it even more simpler to you, because what they want you to believe that you should stand with Israel when Israel is the one who actually came and squeezed themselves in a country, divided the people up, made a circle around them, put them on their reservations, and they have disconnect with their other families across the land over on the West Bank. And they get no support. And we be silly enough to listen to the propaganda that is put on the news that Israel is under attack. And as Netanyahu, the president, prime minister, or whatever you want to call him there in Israel, who wants to say that it is wrong for the Palestinians who bombed and killed 600 of our people. Now it's supposed to be about 1,000 people. There are those who are hostage. They're wrong. We're going on an all-out war. Without many people understanding the history that you took their land. Do you think it's easy? I mean, it's a hard pill to swallow. Think about us African Americans here in America, or even the natives. Our lands were taken. Even the African Americans, family, to include my uncle, who had farms, that their lands were taken, stripped from them. And now you're left out to be what? Put in a project? To be thrown crumbs? And not expect that people should rise up and fight against the injustices of what you did to a people? That right there is a hard pill to swallow. So over these years, since 1948, when they established this state of Israel, we see there have been wars amongst wars with the so-called Palestinians, with even the Lebanese, which is what America would say is a terrorist group called Hezbollah. Hezbollah is nothing more than another Arab group who are there to fight for the Lebanese, who are backed by Iran, Iraq, Yemen, and these other Arab nations. It seems that these Arab nations surrounded around Israel and fighting against them is because Israel has stolen land. This is the reason for the wars. And unbeknownst to so many people around the globe, America and Europe help support to steal people's land. This is why I say I don't even support even the other side across the aisle, Palestine, because they took the land. The Arabs took the land from the so-called Israelites, if you will, those who already know a true history and the lineage of their people. The Limba, please look at my video, of the Limba tribe. The Igbo people, which Igbo means Hebrew people, Yoruba, whether it is the Bantu languages, these are all a part and associated in the 12 tribes of Israel, and those are standing up saying they are the people and their land was taken. Now, when you really look into the crux of even Israel, who brought in the Ethiopian Jews, please look up, please do yourself a favor. Because these Ethiopians who have been shipped over there when they were trying to secure their Hebrew or their Jewish lineage, or their connection to Israel, because it was a law that if you had Jewish connections, you had a right to Israel. They flew them in to the country. Please look up Operation Solomon, Operation Moses. You're going to see that they flew hundreds of thousands of Ethiopian Jews there. But the Ethiopians tell the world that they are being mistreated by these supposed Israelites that are there in Israel, supposedly be God's chosen people, that they are prejudiced against them, that they have inoculated their people with shots, that they gave their women birth control unbeknownst to them, that they were unable to have babies within 10 years. The president, please look that up. The president himself decided to do away with that program just here in the last few years. And these are the people talking about they're the chosen, and yet they're the ones going around causing a lot of destruction. And yet our people are standing up in support, not understanding these are the people who were supported by the Western worlds to take land from people, to put people in their own small little circles of reservations, to devastate their communities by putting sanctions, keeping imports from coming in. Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. We need to wake up and realize, stop following everything that they propagate. And like the Black Lives Matter, when you were standing up and got caught in, that this was nothing more than an agenda ran by black people who wanted to push their own agendas across the world. And it wasn't for Black Lives Matter. Time for us to wake up, family. And it's time for us to really get to the truth and the crux of the matter. This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside.
Think about it, 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 think about it.